Most men get this completely wrong. They think women fall in love the same way men do. They think it's about attraction, chemistry, looks, or the spark. And yes, those things matter. But if you've lived long enough, you've probably noticed something strange. You've seen beautiful women stay loyal to average-looking men. You've seen women walk away from men who seem to have everything. And you've probably asked yourself a question at some point. What is it that actually makes a woman fall in love? Because from the outside, it often looks random. But it isn't. Women don't usually fall in love all at once. They fall in love in layers. And understanding those layers changes everything. Let me explain. Imagine two men. The first man is charming, confident, good-looking. He creates excitement wherever he goes. The second man is quieter. He isn't trying to impress anyone. He listens, he pays attention, he follows through on his word. At first, many women may notice the first man. But when it comes to real love, the kind that lasts years instead of months, something interesting happens. The second man often wins, not because he's more exciting, but because he makes her feel something every woman secretly searches for. Safety. Not physical safety. Emotional safety. The feeling that she can relax. The feeling that she doesn't have to constantly wonder where she stands. The feeling that she can be herself without being judged. That is where love often begins. And most men never notice it because it happens quietly. A woman rarely wakes up one morning and suddenly decides she's in love. Instead, she starts collecting evidence. Evidence that you're consistent. Evidence that you're trustworthy. Evidence that your actions match your words. Every promise you keep. Every difficult conversation you handle with maturity. Every moment you remain steady when life becomes complicated. She's paying attention, more than you realize. Because women don't just fall in love with who you are today, they fall in love with the future they can imagine having with you. Think about that for a moment. When a woman starts developing deeper feelings, she's asking questions that never get spoken out loud. Can I trust this man? Will he be there when things get difficult? Can I build a life with him? Can I be vulnerable around him? Notice what's missing from those questions. She's not asking if you're perfect. She's not asking if you're rich. She's not asking if you never make mistakes. She's asking whether you're dependable, whether you're real, whether you're someone she can lean on when life gets heavy. And that's where many men sabotage themselves. They spend months trying to impress a woman, trying to prove how successful they are, trying to appear flawless. Meanwhile, the man who simply shows up consistently is building something much stronger. Trust. And trust is the bridge that often leads to love. But there's another piece most people never talk about. Women fall in love through connection. Not surface-level conversation. Real connection. The kind where two people slowly begin understanding how each other think. The kind where she feels heard instead of managed. The kind where she can share something she's never told anyone and know it won't be used against her later. Because here's the truth. People don't fall in love when they feel entertained. They fall in love when they feel understood. That's why some of the strongest relationships begin as friendships. Two people learning about each other's fears, dreams, regrets, and values. Slowly building a connection that becomes stronger than attraction alone. And then one day, without realizing exactly when it happened, she looks at him differently. Not because he changed, but because she finally sees him clearly. Now, does attraction matter? Of course it does. But attraction gets attention. Character earns love. And that's an important distinction. Because attraction may open the door, but reliability, honesty, emotional maturity, and genuine connection are what make someone stay. In the end, women don't just fall in love with a man's appearance. They fall in love with how he makes them feel about life when they're around him. More peaceful, more secure, more understood, more themselves. That's why some men spend years chasing attraction and never find lasting love, while others quietly build trust, connection, and emotional safety, and find themselves loved deeply. Because this is how women actually fall in love, not all at once, not overnight, but one moment of trust, one meaningful conversation, and one act of consistency at a time. And when those moments add up, something powerful happens. What started as attraction becomes admiration. What started as admiration becomes trust. And what started as trust eventually becomes love. So let me ask you something. Looking back at your own relationships, when did a woman seem to fall hardest for you? Was it when you impressed her? Or was it when she finally realized she could trust you?